From the beautiful Sonoma Valley, just north of San Francisco, Sears Point Raceway presents the first of two road course challenges in 1999 for the NASCAR Winston Cup drivers. We're standing by for Bud Pole qualifying for the SaveMart Kragen 350.
There are those that would argue the importance of starting position and thus qualifying at many NASCAR Winston Cup facilities, but not here at Sears Point Raceway, because in the 10 previous events that have been held here, not once has the pole sitter finished worse than 6. In fact, in the past 2 years, the pole sitter has gone on to win. Why this place so unique? Well, this very congested 12-turn road course is as crowded as a Winston Cup garage area, and there are only limited areas to pass. For example, one spot might be the left-hander, the high-speed uphill left turn in turn 1. Another spot might be the end of the brand-new chute that was put in a year ago. That is turn 7, where the brakes are important. And maybe the most important spot and the best spot overall, the very bottom of the S's, that high-speed hairpin turn 11, where brakes and bumpers and barriers are important. Just when you think that it can't be done, meaning coming from the back of the pack, you look at what Mark Martin did a year ago. Starting back in 26th position, he came all the way to the front from the back 3 different times to finally log a top 10 finish. So Mark Martin is one of the veterans who has figured out exactly how to make an oval out of a road course, but others, Bill Weber, have struggled.
Absolutely right, Jerry. In fact, this track has a reputation for being able to turn cars upside down. Well, this race could turn the points upside down, and here's why. Dale Jarrett is the point leader, but in 25 road course starts, he has just 4 top 10 finishes. Jeff Burton has just 1 top 10 finish in 10 starts. Rookie Tony Stewart has never started a Winston Cup road course race. Ward Burton has just 2 top 10s in 10 starts, and Jeremy Mayfield is 0 for 7. Now, these guys know that the points here are just as valuable on Sunday as they are at the 32 oval races. And the thing to keep in mind is while a road course can turn the points picture upside down, you have to be very careful throughout the day, because when it's over, it's not always how many points you win here, but how many points you lose.
ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, NASCAR, welcome you live to Sears Point Raceway. It's Bud Pole qualifying for Sunday's SaveMart Kragen 350. The first qualifier is on the course, going through corner number 10, headed down for that important braking area where we'll see a lot of passing on Sunday. This is coming up on turn number 11. Tom Hubert in car number 19 is just about to complete his qualifying lap. He started here at Sears Point 10th last year and finished in 41st position. He also participated in the road course race at Watkins Glen last year, starting 20th and finishing in 36th position. And his lap is 73.455 seconds. That translates to a speed of 95.520 miles an hour.
Well, he was 33rd in practice this morning and a little bit faster than his qualifying speed. We'll have to see. It was much cooler this morning. It could be the temperature will have an effect, and these cars will slow down as qualifying goes along.
And, of course, the track is set here for an hour while the cars have gone through inspection and the sun shining down on the track. It might be a little bit slippery here for the first few drivers.
We'll race tomorrow in the NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Series, the Snap-on Tools 200 at 3 o'clock Eastern Time on the Deuce. Our happy hour coverage tomorrow night is at 9:30 Eastern Time. And then, of course, Sunday is a big day of coverage for you, as we'll have RPM today at 11:30, NASCAR today at 3:30, and the SaveMart Kragen 350 is at 4:30 Eastern Time on ESPN. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. Second qualifier scheduled out, Ted Musgrave in car number 75. There were a total of 51 cars that drew for an opportunity to qualify here this afternoon under beautiful skies, very pleasant weather we have had the last couple of days that we have been here. And here's Musgrave on his warm-up half a lap.
Yeah, they don't go all the way around the racetrack to come back to get the green flag. They go up to just a portion of the track, like you say, about halfway around, and then come back. That's to save time, and they don't really need to get speed up anyway, because where he's coming off of turn 11 right there, it's the slowest point on the racetrack. And and so he can get all the speed that he can just by taking that half a lap.
Now, every season, he's taking the green flag. He'll make a left-hand corner, and then he goes under a bridge, another left-hand corner, and he starts up the hill. Quite an elevation change before he makes that right-hander into turn 2.
Something like 160 feet of elevation change from the S's up to the top of the hill where Musgrave is right now. The track record here at Sears Point was set a year ago by Jeff Gordon on the new configuration. That's 1.949 miles, 98.711, and I don't think the fastest in practice today was above that, were they?
No, they were not.
So we may not see a new track record set here this afternoon.
This is the S's, and anytime you watch a stock car go through the S's, you can see what kind of handful these drivers have as they run them off those rumble strips, getting those tires off the ground. To turn 10.
He was about 6,500ths of a second faster than Tom Hubert was when he went by our broadcast position here, so he should have a better lap than Tom had if he gets through this corner right here. Okay, this is a critical point.
Here is Musgrave moving off the corner. Last year here at Sears Point, he started 20th and finished 19th. At Watkins Glen, he started 15th and finished 19th. And the lap for Ted Musgrave is better than Hubert's. It's 72.496 seconds, and that's a speed of 96.783 miles an hour. So Musgrave and Hubert have qualified as about 50 others await their turn here at Sears Point. The Sonoma Valley produces some of the finest grapes, vineyards, and of course wine that you'll find any place in the world. There are also vineyards, of course, up in the Finger Lakes region of New York, and that's where you'll find another road course, and that's where you'll also find the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series and the NASCAR Busch Series tomorrow, with the Craftsman Truck Series at 5 Eastern, and then the Busch Series Race the Lysol 200 Sunday at noon from Watkins Glen, New York. All right, we continue with qualifying here as Robert Presley has just completed his run.
Haven't seen the time come up yet on the computer, Bob.
A little slow. He's going through the S's and almost ready to come back into the garage area, the pit area, but still no speed for, and there it is.
73.599 seconds, 95.333 miles an hour. That's the third fastest off the 3 cars that have qualified so far.
Down to Jerry.
John Andretti sitting getting ready to qualify as he talks to Robbie Loomis here right quick about some adjustments they're watching as the cars go out to qualify. John is one of the only drivers, probably the only driver in this field to have won an open wheel competition. He won at the kart races in Australia. He's won in road racing at Daytona in the 24 hours. And John, you came very close a year ago in this car to pulling one off here.
Yeah, we don't seem to qualify very good, and working as hard as we can right now, but Kyle's running really good, and that's good. I just got to get the 43 up there. I want to say hello to Richard at home. I know he's watching, and we want him to get better.
All right, John Andretti talking about not qualifying. He started 21st here a year ago and finished 3rd as the Intimidator heads up the hill.
Former winner here at Sears Point. A little bit of a bobble there coming off turn 2.
Yeah, he got into that first left-hander very, very hard, and he did have a little bit of a bobble.
He won here in 95 and sat on the pole here in 93. And Bill Weber is with Ted Musgrave, who so far, after 3 qualifiers, is the fastest.
Well, the good news is you've got the pole right now. The bad news is you probably won't hang on to it for too long.
Well, we knew that. You know, like I say, I'm not a road course racer by no means. I just try to be a steady driver out there. And, you know, if it puts us in the top 25, that's what I'm looking for right now. You know, I've run really good here in the past all the time with Roush, and, you know, hopefully with Remington, Woodsmouth will do the same. Qualifying effort, like I say, just want to stay in line, stay in step, and, you know, not screw up. And that's the biggest part. And didn't really screw up. I didn't drive maybe hard enough there in one corner, but like I say, if it gets us, you know, in the top 25 locked in, come Sunday is what I'm focused on.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Dale Earnhardt about to complete his qualifying lap. He finished 11th in both road course races in NASCAR Winston Cup last year. Started 17th here at Sears Point. Checkered flag comes out, and Dale Earnhardt becomes our 4th qualifier of the afternoon.
And he becomes the 2nd fastest. Set his time 72.518, 96.754. He slowed down about a half mile per hour from his practice speed this morning.
He got a little bit loose, as we said, going up through the S's towards the top of the hill there, and I'm sure that hurt him a little bit.
Next to roll out will be Terry Labonte in the Kellogg Chevy. Jerry is with the pole sitter, or the guy who sat on the outside of the front row last year here at Sears Point, Jerry Nadeau.
Indeed, an impressive performance last year. Jerry Nadeau qualified second, had a great run going for 13 laps, which he wants to forget about as they push the car up. Jerry, great effort here a year ago. You said you waited a whole year to come back. What are your thoughts prior to qualifying?
Really looking forward to it. We didn't have too bad of a practice session. We were in the top 5, and there's some good guys. You know, Mark's running good, Bobby Labonte. It should be pretty good, Mark Martin. I mean, we just need to have a good lap. This is a place where you can really screw up and hurt your time, and there's so many turns here, and you just got to be really consistent, not overcharge the turns, and just try to get a good lap, start up front.
All right, Jerry Nadeau in the car getting ready to qualify. Terry Labonte coming down, trying to make up for that dismal performance here. Boy, was he frustrated here a year ago.
Yeah, both road course races in '98 were not outstanding performances for Terry Labonte. He finished 42nd here last year and finished 40th at Watkins Glen in 1998. He has had a pole here. That was in '96. His best finish, however, in the race came in 1992 when he ended up in second spot.
Terry Labonte, the driver of this Kellogg's number 5, is regarded as one of the best road racers in NASCAR Winston Cup, so it's unusual for him to have such disappointing finishes.
He does have 2 wins on road courses. Both of those came at Riverside.
And, you know, part of his frustration here a year ago, guys, is because they built a brand new road racing car with all the bells and whistles you could put on a road course car, and they brought it here. But what Terry wanted to do was stay with the car that he'd been so successful with. The car he wanted to run here was the car they had as a backup a year ago. He didn't like the road course car they brought, and the results showed that. This is the car they had as the backup last year, and the car he has driven for 3 consecutive years. 2 top 5s and a 3rd place finish in this race car. He loves it. It has led. It has qualified up front. How was it today? We'll find out in about 15 seconds.
Off of corner number 11 down to the start-finish line, and the completion of the qualifying run for Terry Labonte.
In practice this morning, Labonte ran fast enough to beat the time of Ted Musgrave. We'll see.
But he didn't.
But he didn't this time. Back to 3rd spot.
72.680 seconds, 96.538 miles an hour. I'm sure that's going to be very disappointing to Terry.
Bill is with the 2nd fastest qualifier so far, Dale Earnhardt.
And basically, Dale, down here with the media, about 2/10 off what you practiced at. How was your lap?
Well, I was 2/10 off, and I wanted to be 2/10 faster, and that's what you're supposed to do, is go faster when you qualify. But I just didn't get up the hill like I needed to, and I was really off up on top there, and that's gonna hurt. I run a 51, and I think that's going to be on that edge of where a lot of guys run right now, and I needed to run down in the 20s, I think, and to been safe in the top 10, and I wanted to be in the top 10, and you can race better from there, and you can 20th, and it's just these guys deserve to run better, and they got a good race car. It's a brand new car, and it's doing everything it's supposed to do. The driver just put it on the marks, hit all the shift points and everything right. We'll be all right.
But he will on Sunday.
Sunday's a different story. We'll be consistent. Maybe we'll be okay.
He's able to smile, but disappointed with his qualifying lap.
Earnhardt right now, 2nd quick. Ted Musgrave the fastest. 3rd is Terry Labonte. 4th, Tom Hubert. And 5th fastest at this moment is Robert Presley. There will be about 100,000 people gather here for the NASCAR Winston Cup race on Sunday. We're located about 40 miles north of San Francisco. Down in San Francisco itself, an even larger crowd for the X Games. And everybody's really looking forward to the games to start on Sunday.
Very impressive. Yes, I wanted to jump out of the car and go and see what was going on when I passed down there.
Well, we had a couple of qualifiers since you left us. Ward Burton clocked in with a 95.4896 quick. John Andretti was the most recent qualifier. He's 4th fastest at 96.349. On the track right now is Bobby Hamilton, and man, did he have an impressive run here at Sears Point last year. Remember, he battled Jeff Gordon in the closing laps of the race, ended up in 2nd position. He led 17 laps of the event here last year.
He was the star of the show.
Yep.
Really, it's impressive.
And really, overall, a pretty good road racer. He ended up in 1998 with the 5th highest number of points if you consider those only scored on the road courses. Then he's 2nd here and 13th at Watkins Glen in 98.
Well, he's not on track to buck Ted Musgrave off the pole as he went by our position here. He was about 0.2 of a second slower to that point than was Musgrave, but right here you can make up a lot of time or even lose a lot of time. Let's see what he does.
He ran exactly the same line through turn 11 that Ted Musgrave ran. He makes that left in turn 12, goes across the start-finish line.
I believe he picked it up enough. Let's see what the clocks will say.
Yep. He did it.
And then we'll see he ran the speed that Earnhardt said he needed to be down in the 20s. 72, 275, 97, 079 for quick time.
We have a new provisional pole sitter. Here's Jerry Punch.
And guys, a year ago, one of the more impressive performances was put on by this rookie driver, then Kenny Irwin, who started 12th and finished in the top 10 with a very, very deliberate and very patient performance last year.
It was just who could make the least amount of mistakes. That's how I feel like these road courses go, either missing shifts or missing the line, and we did a pretty good job of it last year. Hopefully we can do as good or hopefully better this year.
Off-season road racing school with Bob Bondurant. You brought your own coach, Bill Cooper, here. How much does that help?
Well, he went to Atlanta with us a couple weeks ago. You know, he just goes around and checks the lines that we're running and comes back and gives suggestions how to maybe do it a little better. And it worked good last year. Hopefully it works good this year, too.
All right, Kenny Irwin hoping to get in the top 5 in qualifying. Bristol University has Dean Berman. Texaco Tech has Coach Cooper. Let's see if Nadeau can put it on the pole.
Jerry Nadeau going through the S's, trying to duplicate, in fact, move up one spot from his 2nd place start last year.
He loses a little bit of fuel out of the left rear as he goes through the S's.
And he's about 3/4 of a second faster by our position here than was Ted Musgrave.
Wow.
3/4 of a second.
Almost a second faster than...
Oh, he about spun going down at 11. Oh, man.
Boy, oh boy, and he's high coming out of the corner. May have hurt him in a good lap going. Let's see what Jerry Nadeau ends up with overall. It's going to be good enough to knock Hamilton off the pole?
I believe so. Let's see.
Yes, it is.
Wow. And he still was about 3/4 of a second faster than Bobby Hamilton at 71.441, 98.213 for Jerry Nadeau. Great lap.
And that was with this slip coming into corner number 11.
We said just how hot he is going in the corner. He gets out wide to make that right-hander. Well, you see the right rear lock up just about the time he got to the corner, which upset the car. As he came off, he almost gets in the wall as he makes that exit off the corner.
Well, Bill, Bobby Hamilton was on the pole for a short time, but no more.
Well, I tried to get you on while you were on the pole, but you had a good lap.
Yeah, we're pretty happy that that's fashion we've run all day. We really thought we could run like 12 flat or something like that, but that chute deal up there, I'm always real good up there, and I'm good there now, but I take advantage of that concrete thing up there, and I run plumb across, and it feels just cool as hell to do it. So I know it's slower, but it feels good to do it.
And what did you say your key to racing so well here is?
I just need something to chase. I need a rabbit, you know. I think that's worth about a half a second for us. So little Kodak Chevrolet's running really good. We hadn't had to do much to it since we unloaded. We unloaded pretty quick, so we just need something to chase.
See if you can follow up on last year. Good luck.
Thanks, bud.
Bobby Hamilton currently in 2nd position speed-wise. Here's Chad Little on the course. Started 35th, finished 23rd. That's Sears Point in 98.
Thanks, right-hander. I saw Chad Little over to SaveMart golf tournament yesterday afternoon in Napa, and I promised I wouldn't bust on him for last week. Yet. Weekend is nowhere yet.
Tough deal for him, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And very scary, too.
Great race that all the entire Winston Cup guys had at Pocono last week, though. Fun to watch. Now, Chad Little completes his qualifying run. Where does he go? Back to 7th. 73, 143, 95, 927.
So he's our 10th qualifier of the day, and right now, there is the fastest of all, Jerry Nadeau. And when we return to Sears Point, we'll talk with him. Stay with us. Irwin has just completed his qualifying run on the cool down. He became our 11th qualifier of the afternoon and checked in as the third quickest with a 97.077. The fastest remains Jerry Nadeau, the only driver above 98 miles an hour, and nobody achieved that during the practice. Jerry, meanwhile, is with Ricky Rudd.
No one has had more success qualifying here than Ricky Rudd. 3 times a pole sitter, won the inaugural race at Sears Point in '89. But Ricky, this morning, the speed charts show you back in 23rd. What's been the problem?
Well, Jerry, we've only had about 4 or 5 laps on the racetrack. We've got a new brake system, and unfortunately, we didn't test it too well before we came out here, and been locking up front brakes. I think I've got way too many adjustments. I got proportional valves, I got hydraulic valves, and I've totally got this system backwards, I think. So they went back and they just simplified it a lot, and hopefully I really won't know what I've got till I qualify, to tell you the truth.
Hey, good luck in qualifying.
Thank you.
Ricky Rudd concerned about the front brakes locking up. We'll know in a minute when he goes out. Let's check in with our current pole sitter, Bill Weber.
That would be Jerry Nadeau, who has the fastest lap of anyone here all day. You want to talk about how good the lap was, or you want to talk about going into the last turn down here?
The lap was awesome until the last turn. I really screwed it up. We've been having a lot of trouble here under braking and downshifting, and a lot of it's because I heel toe here on these cars, and that's what I'm used to in the past, and I just screwed up. The tires got locked up, the car bounced real bad. We actually were 0.3 slower through here than we ever were all day long, so that could have been an awesome lap, but the guys did a good job, and hopefully it'll hold up to be at least in the top 5.
But that you don't think you're going to get the pole?
I don't know. We got Gordon. There's a lot of good guys coming up. I mean, unless somebody really tears the track up with dirt and grease, it could be beatable, but we'll see what happens.
Good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Jerry Nadeau currently the fastest. You saw Mike Borkowski qualify. Mike is a former Trans Am driver, and Jerry and I covered his trials and tribulations at the Indianapolis Motor Speedways. He attempted to make the Indy 500 this year, was not successful. Here at Sears Point, he's qualified 12th. Slowest of all, 75.430 and 93.019 mile an hour lap. And David Green will be next.
Kodiak Chevrolet.
David has never raced here in a Winston Cup car.
But Steve Grissom drove this car out here last year and had a great run. Didn't he lead the race for a while? And just very good.
This is the Larry Hedrick-owned car. David's best start so far in 1999 came at Dover, 17th. He's finished 18th twice during the season for his best finish. A little bit of smoke from the car. It wouldn't break, was it?
It might have been a tire going over and rubbing a fender. We saw that on Ward Burns' car when he went down through the S's just a few moments ago.
Off of corner number 11, completing the lap, David Green also did not race at Watkins Glen last year. And his effort results in the 12th fastest. He's just a little bit faster than Borkowski at 73.675 and 95.234. Let's talk with Kenny Irwin.
And he's talking it over with the crew, explaining what a fine job he did.
Well, a fine job this guy did. We kind of struggled in the first practice and changing the rear end around, and I told him that we're just not getting, the forward bite that we wanted, and he made some changes for qualifying, and obviously they were right one. We picked up over half a second, and that's pretty big here at the road course.
Hey, good job out of you. Good job out of you, Doug, too. Good luck, you guys. Ricky Rudd on the track.
Rudd has won the pole here 4 times, most recently in 95, and he also won here in 1989.
New paint job on that Tide ride. A lot of white on that car. A lot more than we've been seeing.
Finished 28th here last year, crashing with Jeffrey Bodine on the 89th lap, but he did lead 14 laps during the afternoon. There you see the 13 drivers who have checked in so far. Rudd up through the S's.
He has a good lap going, Bob. Not good enough to be on the pole, but he's the second fastest that I've clocked by our position here. So those brake adjustments and things that they did seem to be paying off for him. Looks like he's getting through this corner okay.
He made it back, and that's the best part. Anytime you go out to qualify on a road course, and make it back, you feel like you've done so. Hey,
good
second
run.
spot.
Yeah.
Outside pole, 72.095. 97.322 for Rudd. Good lap.
So that knocks Bobby Hamilton back into row number 2, but only 14 of 51 drivers have qualified for Sunday's SaveMart Kragen 350. We'll be right back. Of Northern California, without question the most picturesque and beautiful area that we go to during the normal racing season. We're in the Sonoma Valley and Sears Point Raceway for qualifying for Sunday's NASCAR Winston Cup race, and what an outstanding job Joe Nemechek did just a few moments ago, clocking in with the second fastest, 97.973 miles an hour, a lap of 71.616. Bill is with Ricky Rudd, currently third.
All that stuff you told Jerry, looks like it worked, huh?
Well, I didn't lock any brakes up. You know, unfortunately, we spent so much time working on brakes, which generally you come out here and you don't have any problem. I was really surprised that we fought it like we did, but we ended up working on brakes instead of working on chassis, and we left a good bit of speed in the car. It's pushing too much turning into the corners. We need to get the front to bite. But like I said, that's the first time I made it around the track without smoking brakes, so at least we're gaining on it.
Good for you. Guys not have time to finish painting your car? What's that stuff on?
That's the new hydrogen peroxide, the new Tide deal. Got to get this stuff. Works great. Cleans your clothes, everything. Great.
And it helped them qualify well here. Here's Jerry.
All right, Bobby Labonte, 2 wins in his last 3 outings, second in the points, brand new car, fastest in practice. Bobby, life is pretty good.
Wow, that was, I don't know where that lap came from earlier today, because we'd struggled a little bit before that. I mean, not really struggled, just trying to make it better. But hopefully we get this Interstate Pontiac a good lap in for today's qualifying and have a good start spot for Sunday. But we'll just kind of take whatever we can get as long as it's a, safe one, that's for sure.
Can you beat a 44? Nadu put up a pretty good number with his lap.
I don't think so. I don't think that's, not by me anyway.
All right, Bobby Labonte, 2 cars away from his qualifying effort. His best road course finish came here a year ago in 4th.
Bobby will be out in just a moment. Meanwhile, Austin Cameron has qualified 11th quick with a lap of 95.546. Austin, one of our winter heat buddies from the Southwest and Winston West Tour. Here's Michael Waltrip next out to try. Whoa, he's over the rumble strips, isn't he?
Being very aggressive trying to get around this racetrack as he goes through the S's. Now left-hander here, and as he goes back to the right, let's see how much he gets out of shape. Yeah, not too bad.
Got a pretty good lap going.
Ooh, we see him wiggle going down in turn 11 to back in. Now downshift that baby, let the front bumper drag the racetrack. Turn to right. Now back on the gas. Don't hit that wall coming off the corner. No, things are looking good.
Listen to how easy it is for old BP sitting over here in the air conditioning. All right, Waltrip completes a lap.
He'll be up there in about, what, 4th or somewhere in that neighborhood? 3rd.
Third quick, good lap, 97.468 to 71.987. Let's get the real story on how easy it is from Joe Nemechek.
Well, we had a Sabco car on the pole last week at Pocono, and you want to put one on the front row, but you're disappointed about the beginning of your lap.
Yes, I got in turn 10 there a little bit too hard and smoked the front tire. Did the same thing in practice today, but...
you did that coming to get the green.
Yeah, that was coming to get the green, and then I felt that thing bouncing just a little bit the whole lap, so evidently we flat spotted it pretty good, but pretty good lap. It's the second faster than I run in practice. We just kind of struggled in practice. Ended up in the sandbox over there one time, so we had a good day. We're running real good. The car, Bell South car is running awesome. Got to say hello to Andrea and John Hunter back at home. They didn't come out this trip, but it's a good. I thought we were going to get the pole. I mean, I just trying to have a nice, smooth, easy line, not get off course, and I did that, and we're in the front.
Okay, every lap here is an adventure. Jerry?
Kenny Wallace just came running by us a moment ago, jumped in the car. He's the next car to go after Bobby Labonte, still getting his helmet and gloves on. He was back in their hauler watching our live coverage of qualifying, trying to get some pointers. Kenny, what'd you learn by watching the first 2 cars go?
Well, you try to learn as much as you can. Pretty entertaining watching your coverage. You can see if who's over drove a corner or not. And the thing about Sears Point is you just don't want to attack the corners too hard, and slide up. So somebody like myself who's not a full-fledged road course driver, you need all the help you can get.
All right, going to school with a little bit of help from ESPN. Kenny Wallace.
Here's the guy that has a good lap going, Jimmy Spencer. Not good enough for the pole unless he picked up a bunch down there, but wait a minute.
Maybe it is.
Maybe my watch is wrong.
Ooh,
Second quick.
Close. Very, very close. 71, 503, 98, 127. And Jerry Nadeau ran 71, 441. So he was within 0.06 of a second around a 2-mile racetrack almost. Wow, very close for Spencer.
Jimmy Spencer started 5th at Watkins Glen last year, so he's no real stranger to road courses. It's interesting, though, he's the only driver to qualify for all 15 races who does not have a top 10 start, so maybe he'll get one today.
All right, here's the fastest car in practice this morning. Bobby Labonte, the Interstate Batteries Pontiac, the winner last week at Pocono. So the team is definitely on a roll. Can they keep it going with qualifying today?
He already has 4 poles this year.
Yep, and 12 top 10 starts. An outstanding year for Bobby Labonte so far. And is now second in points to Dale Jarrett. As far as Sears Point is concerned, started 9th, finished 4th last year at Watkins Glen. Started 37th, finished 10th. His 4 poles have come at Las Vegas, Atlanta, Charlotte, and Dover. And the 2 wins have come at Dover and Pocono just last weekend. Well, he's coming up through the S's. How's he doing?
No, he's not doing nearly as good as either Jimmy Spencer or Jerry Nadeau. He was about 3/4 of a second slower than Nadeau.
A little high coming out of the corner.
Yes, he lost some time there because he was not able to keep the car on the bottom of the racetrack like he needed to. And turn 11, now he makes that left-hander. Turn 12, well, you don't turn left when you go straight and complete your qualifying run. Oh, he goes back to 5th spot. 72.083, 97.338 miles per hour.
So while Jerry Nadeau remains on the provisional pole, an outstanding run for Jimmy Spencer. He's second quick. We'll talk to him when we come back. The driver we talked with just a few moments ago, who said he'd been watching our coverage before going out there, has now completed his run, Kenny Wallace. And he's 9th quick. Not a bad effort at all. He is the 20th qualifier we have had so far. The speed was 97.062, a 72.288 for Kenny. But the man, perhaps, of the last 45 minutes, Jimmy Spencer, Bill.
Off the good run at Pocono, what are you laughing at?
Well, Michael come to the car yelling. He says, "How fast you think you run?" I says, "It wasn't bad. You know, I figured around 12:50 because that's what we were shooting for, and it was 11:50." I said, "Mike, quit pulling my leg," you know. But he said, "I can't believe it." He said, "We're not road racers. We don't know what we're supposed to." I said, "No, you're right." I'm shocked at that lap, you know, but everything went really good, you know, and it broke really good, and it turned in really good, and everything went well. And I can't say enough about Boris last year driving the car at the Glen, qualifying really well at Watkins Glen with it. You know, that helped me a lot, and I was talking to Boris at least 3 or 4 times today about what I need to do to improve my racing, and he says, "Trust the car." You know, it's so hard for a driver to do that, and I'm just really happy. You know, Team Winston's not had a great year by any means, and now it gives us a whole different outlook for Sunday's race. We had a good day last weekend at Pocono, and now we're thinking top 10 instead of top 20.
Look at him smile. Jimmy Spencer, road course specialist.
Yeah, at Pocono last week, you said, "Yeah, we just might win one at the next race." Seriously, no, wait a minute, make that Daytona. But now, on the outside pole, maybe we'll start thinking about trying to win the race.
Well, he led 14 laps here in last year's race. I'm sorry, he didn't.
And here's Sterling Marlin, one of the fastest cars in practice.
Marlin was the pole sitter at Pocono last week and wound up in 4th position, and he clocks in as the 10th best.
Oh, he will be disappointed with that, because I tell you what, I don't know that 72 seconds and 44.3 or 72.443 will make the top 25. That might be somewhere qualifying tomorrow. The speed we saw was 96.854 miles per hour.
And that's slower than he practiced this morning, Sterling. But it's not hard to lose time here, as we've talked about.
Jerry punches with a guy who's very experienced on the road courses.
Wally Dallenbach cut his teeth in road racing, Trans Am racing, IMSA racing, a champion, and has been awfully good on the stock car on the road courses. Wally, what do you think about qualifying today? You obviously have run here and finished here in the top 5 well.
We're going to drive it hard and see what we got. We've been fighting a little bit of a carburetor deal, and the guys have made some big gains on it. We made another change right here, hopefully for a carburetor. That's right before this qualifying run. That's what we'll need. So
I don't think we got enough for the pole, but hopefully we could be in the top 5, maybe top 10.
Crew wanted me to ask you, are you wearing your good luck charm?
Not today, but we'll see if that's going to help or not.
Okay, Wally Dollenbach, you guys explain it.
You brought it up, you explained it.
Never mind, I'm not going there. Kyle Petty in practice this morning was the 6th best car. I can see the Kyle by the way that back end's kind of flying around, being very aggressive, trying to get him a good lap. What do you think, Ned?
Well, Bob, man, through here, he was not as good as he needed to be if he was going to be a pole threat. He was about 3/4 of a second, again, slower than Jerry Nadeau was. But Nadeau did have that little mess up down there going into turn 11, which hurt him some.
He started 8th here last year. He has started 8th 3 different times at Sears Point. Lap complete for Kyle Petty, and
see where he goes down to.
Oh, not bad at all. 5th best. 72.011 and 97.435. Jerry Nadeau and Jimmy Spencer are currently the front row occupants for Sunday's NASCAR Winston Cup race. Here tomorrow, so this is the place to be. And of course, the coverage of the X Games also begin on Sunday down in San Francisco. Jerry has some information regarding Watkins Glen. Doc?
Exactly. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series qualifying just concluded a little bit ago at Watkins Glen. Ron Fellows on the pole up there. Jack Sprague, Mike Wallace, Stacy Compton, and Ron Hornaday rounding out the top 5 in qualifying. And those guys made NASCAR history earlier today in the rain. They ran an entire practice session with what is being called not rain tires, but wet race tires. That's a NASCAR designation for these tires that these guys have here if needed in the rain, and they will use also at Watkins Glen for the trucks and the Busch Series. But the trucks ran an entire session with wet race tires, but they qualified in the dry.
And Johnny Benson has completed his qualifying run. He had a good practice lap this morning, but he had some trouble up in turn 2, the right-hander, turn 3, actually, the right-hander, and it hurt his speed a great deal. He's back to 15th, which is going to be real close to making it today. 72.744, 96.453.
We, of course, will qualify only the top 25 here this afternoon. Everybody past 25 will have the option of standing on their time or requalifying tomorrow. This is our 25th qualifier of the day, Bill Elliott.
Right now, Mike Borkowski, if Bill Elliott can beat him, we'll go to 25th. Jerry Punch.
Mark Martin getting buckled in his car as we get ready to get a quick comment. And Mark, good news and bad news here a year ago. Outstanding effort on race day, but pole day is something you'd probably like to forget.
Well, I just made a mistake. I'm going to try not to do that today. It's important to go fast here, but it's even more important to not make a mistake and put us in a hole that we almost dug ourselves out of, but didn't quite manage to do it. Sure helps a lot if you can start inside the top 10 here. We've got a great Valvoline Cummins Taurus here, and we'll just go out and make sure we get a solid lap.
Is it an understatement to say that's the hardest you worked here a year ago to finish 6th, coming from the back 3 different times?
These guys say I passed 120 cars. I don't believe it, but we did pass a lot of cars.
All right, Mark Martin, 3 cars away from qualifying.
Elliott's got a good run going here. Let's see what he does as he crosses the line.
He's going to be close to second, I believe, Bob. I have him 3rd fastest. Let's see where he is. He's 4th fastest.
Goes back to 4th. He's only 0.2 of a second from Nadeau. 71.634 and 97.948 for Bill Elliott. And his great qualifying continues.
Here comes Wally Dollenbach. We talked with him a few moments ago. As Jerry said, he cut his teeth on the road courses in the Trans Am Series. And 5 top 5 finishes on road courses in his NASCAR Winston Cup career. Started 37. Oh, he's way up on the rumble strips.
Man, oh man. He had half the car, almost entire car on top of that rumble strip. He has been so aggressive with his car. As he told Jerry Punch, I'm going to drive it hard. And folks, he is driving it hard.
He is driving it hard, but I'm not sure that little shortcut would help him that much, Benny. He gets those wheels off the ground.
Watch this. I mean, he just turns across and the car turns so good he has an entire car on the rumble strip. Man.
Dallenbach's best finish here.
Oh,
96.
baby.
Sliding some more.
He is going to town.
But it's not paying off for him. His time through here was not that good.
Almost getting the left side tires off the pavement coming out of corner 10. Here he is in turn 11. And Wally Dallenbach will become our 26th qualifier. Mike Borkowski on the bubble, as you can see there at the bottom of your screen. And Dallenbach
said, spit it out, Bob.
Well, he ended up in 12th spot, so Borkowski is bumped, and for Dallenbach it was a 72.308 and a speed of 97.035. Not a single driver will pay any attention to that sign on the racetrack this weekend. We're butt pole qualifying for Sunday's SaveMart Kragen 350. Michael Elliott Sadler has just taken the green flag and is headed up to the top of the hill on his qualifying effort.
You know, you about a year behind there, Bob.
Well, for a moment, but
you caught your mistake.
Yeah.
All right, Elliott Sadler. I wonder what it feels like to throw these big stock cars. Oh, look at him smoke that right front tire. That's what. We talked to Joe Nemechek, and he talked about smoking that right front tire, and the car vibrated. When you stop that tire, you put a tremendous flat spot on it, and you do get a vibration out of that.
And Joe did his coming to the flag.
Yes.
That had to hurt Elliott a lot because he's over a second off. Look at it as he comes in there. He knows he's in there too hot. He's either going to spin out or he'll try to get that thing slowed down.
Man, oh man, did he smoke that right front tire? and he's sick all this whole time. He said, "Oh, look, the car's off the pace."
Sure is.
Not
He's
hardly.
just made it off of corner 11, and the car is about to stop.
Either an axle or a transmission or something, or what?
I don't know. The car is... Oh, no. What a tough break for Mark Martin. The next car out because NASCAR will have to wave off this flag of Martin, I guess.
The car is well off the racing line, but still, there he comes off of corner 11. There you can see Sadler's car.
Now, you'd think when Mark sees that car sitting there, it would concern him, but he goes by. Did he get the green?
Yep, he's getting the green.
He is getting the green. Wow.
And I think that's the right thing to do because, you know, they have the new tires on, they have the engine cool down. All the things that they go through for qualifying would have been negated there if, and that's why you said what a tough race it would have been for him. And he's really not, you wouldn't leave him sitting there during the race, but during qualifying, I don't think it's that big of a problem to let one more car qualify. Let's go to the pits.
With Bill Elliott, who has become a qualifying machine of late, and another strong run for you here.
Well, if we can stay in the top 10, I'll feel good about it. You know, there's still a lot of good cars left, and I know that. I know there'll be some good times run, but still for us, we struggled a lot during the first practice with, we kept having a sway bar rub the right rear tire and just a lot of little stuff. I still felt like that the gearing wasn't exactly right, but I said, hey, we'll go with what we got and see what we got. And, man, these guys just keeping me looking good. I'll tell you, they're doing a heck of a job.
It just needs a little luck down the stretch in some of these races right now because you guys are back, basically.
Well, I think we'll get it together. You know, once we get to the midpoint of the season, we start going back to some of these places with Wayne and I and the crew we've got. I feel like we'll really start to come around. We're starting to get real good race cars, and I feel like it'll all come together here in a very short period of time.
Back to the booth.
Mark Martin sat on the pole and won the race here in 97, and he is 5th fastest on that qualifying lap, 71.672, 97.896.
But, Bob, he lost some time from the time he left our position here till he got back to the start-finish line. He had the fastest time to this point on the racetrack, but he apparently lost some down in turn 11.
Yeah, we are located just shy of turn number 10 here. So they're going to get the car of Elliott Sadler off the track now. Qualifying momentarily interrupted. We'll take a break and be right back. Can be viewed here in the area north of San Francisco, Sears Point Raceway. Well, the car of Elliott Sadler has to be dragged off the racetrack. Apparently, the rear end is locked up in the car. Let's take a look again at first sign of trouble.
Now, it looks like, I mean, it looked to me like tire smoke, but there's a tremendous amount of smoke there. I don't know. And as he comes off that corner, then all the smoke just vanishes. So It sure looked like tire smoke. And then a half lap later, he has a mechanical problem. You wonder if it might have been related.
Well, let's take a look at the accomplishments so far. Jerry Nadeau is on the provisional pole with Jimmy Spencer alongside. There you see down the rest of the top 15 with Ted Musgrave in the 15th qualifying position.
As we look at 16-29, remember, only 25 cars will qualify today. We see David Green, Kevin LePage, Mike Borkowski, and Elliott Sadler will have to come back tomorrow and qualify. And right now, Robert Presley, well, they can use this time tomorrow, but Robert Presley is the car on the bubble right now, 25th spot.
Well, as Ned indicated, Mark Martin had a good lap going. He turned out to be 5th fastest. Let's talk with him.
Mark, tell us about your lap.
Well, it was a real good lap. Got around there real pleased with it. The Valvoline Cummins team has given me a great car this weekend, and I didn't want to mess it up by trying too hard. Having a car set on a racetrack takes away 1% of your focus and concentration, and I had one corner, the next to last corner, I wasn't exactly pleased with, and then coming down into this corner, I looked across to see if he was still sitting there, and he was, and then, you know, I didn't get through here like I, you know, had been, and that's my fault, but golly, it's going to be a good starting spot, and you know, it's going to be having to go second round like we did last year, so I'm happy with it, and it was unfortunate that there was a car sitting there, but it is fortunate they let me make my run, because if they would have waved me off after that, then I wouldn't have had a chance, because I already had heat in my tires. And so I was hoping when I came in the first time and saw him there that NASCAR would let me make my lap, and then, you know, I lost my focus just a little bit down there.
Okay, he's a little disappointed, but he's got a much better qualifying spot than he had here 1 year ago.
Well, as the car number 99 gets up to speed here, we'll take a look. One road race specialist currently on the pole, talking about Jerry Nadeau. Boris said, another road racing specialist, 5th quickest in qualifying. Boris, can you beat a 71.44?
Well, I don't know. I mean, unfortunately, the Ford Taurus, we lost the motor on our 3rd lap of qualifying, so we didn't get a lot of practice. But all the Federated Auto Parts guys chipped in. We got an engine in, so we're ready to run. So hopefully we'll just get in the show and work on race setup tomorrow.
You've qualified in Winston Cup 5th for Jimmy Spencer at Watkins Glen last year, but never raced. You finally get to start your own car here this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like Christmas. I can't wait to get going.
All right, this track's been awfully good to Morris. Said his first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series win came right here, and back last week, he was on the pole with the road course up in Portland International in the trucks.
Morris scheduled to be the next out after Jeff Burton completes his run, and he just took the green flag. Jeff has 8 top 10 starts this year. He started from the pole in California. However, that was based upon points as qualifying was rained out there. Here at Sears Point, he started 23rd and finished 39th last year.
So far, it's been a nice, uneventful lap. And off the track. Go down through the edges, see if he can keep the thing going back and forth, and see, so far, so good.
Jeff will celebrate his 32nd birthday this coming Tuesday. Coming down through turn number 10 now.
He's got a good lap going, not a pole-threatening lap, but it should get him up there somewhere maybe in the top 15, or maybe even better, depends on how he gets through here.
Robert Presley is on the bubble. Here comes Jeff Burton off of corner number 11, takes the checkered flag and completes his qualifying run, becoming the 30th qualifier of the day.
Yeah, he picked it up through there. He's got himself a pretty decent lap.
And he goes down to 7th spot. It's a good lap.
72.008 and 97.439, 7th quick for Jeff Burton. Right after we complete our coverage of Bud Pole qualifying here at Sears Point, John Kernan will have the update on all the activity from the world of motorsports. We'll preview the FedEx Championship race at Cleveland, also the Watkins Glen Truck and Busch Series events, and the Pep Boys Indy Racing League is competing at Pikes Peak this weekend. All of those will be previewed on RPM tonight. Here's Jerry Punch.
Well, there are 11 active drivers in NASCAR with road course victories, but none with any more than this guy, Rusty Wallace. 6 wins, including 2 here at Sears Point. But, Rusty, first of all, before we talk about qualifying, how are the ribs and the legs and everything else of that violent crash last Sunday at Pocono?
Well, I'm fine. I got real lucky. I don't even have an aching bone on my body right now. And after you run into a wall at over 200 miles an hour, I'm telling you, God's the only guy to help me out of that one, trust me, because it was a bad wreck.
All right, indeed. I'll echo that. Now, what about qualifying today? You came out here with a new car and tested. Pretty confident you can get this car in the front couple rows?
I hope so, Jerry. I mean, it's been running really good in practice, and it outran our old car, which was a pretty good car. And I'm real optimistic about it. I just hope I get a good lap and stay on the track and don't screw up.
Rusty Wallace coming off a violent collision last Sunday. He said, I think a tour through the wine country on Wednesday helped him quite a bit, though, as well.
There were a couple of really nasty-looking crashes at Pocono last week. Dave Marcus, boy, that was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And I don't think Dave is going to drive here in Sears Point this week. R.K. Smith is going to drive compete in this car, I believe.
I talked to Dave's wife, Helen, this morning down there, and she said he was still sore and needed a little time to give his body to heal.
I can understand that. Here's Borset, who we talked with just a few moments ago. This is the Urban Simo ride, Federated Auto Parts sponsorship on the Ford Taurus for Boris. Taurus for Boris, you like that?
That's pretty good, Bob.
On the bubble right now is Ward Burton with a speed of 95.489. Jerry Nadeau has to be sweating it out back there in the garage area, watching each and every qualifier, and hoping that perhaps he can walk off with his very first NASCAR Winston Cup Bud Pole this afternoon.
Boris has a good lap going. He was not as fast through here as Nadeau was, or Mark Martin, but each of them lost some time down in turn 11 there, so let's see what he can do, if he can pick up some of that.
All right, Boris goes by the start-finish line. You see the top 25. Ward Burton on the bubble. Where did Boris fit in this?
Way down, Benny. I don't know what, 23rd.
Wow.
He really lost some time from the time he went by here till he got back to the start-finish line.
73.241 at 95.799. There's a Sonoma River that dumps into the bay, and right at the bay, which of course the Golden Gate Bridge crosses, down in San Francisco, about 40 miles from here, you will see the X Games. They start on Sunday at 9 o'clock, including bike stunt street, skateboard vert, and women's speed climbing. Jeff Gordon was among those down at the X Games location the past couple of days, checking things out. It's going to be great. He met Tony Hawk, who, of course, is one of the skateboard vert competitors. Check it all out. It starts Sunday at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, the X Games. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Part of the Go Network, go.com. Here is Gordon, who was second quick in the practice earlier today with a 97.754 mile-an-hour lap. And right now, that would be only sixth quick. Speeds have been faster in qualifying than they were during practice.
Jeff is trying to get all he can out of the DuPont Chevrolet. Ooh, back and forth. He's been very aggressive. Is it going to work out? Goes down right by our position, goes down to turn 10, makes that right-hander.
Good lap going. He's right in there close to where Jerry Nadeau was at this point.
Now, is he going to make this corner a good corner? So far, so good. Oh, beautiful looking corner.
He started from the pole and won it last year. Let's see if he can knock Nadeau off the pole here in 99. Checkered flag comes out. Ned shaking his head. Did he do it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, 71.219, 98.519 miles per hour. And Jeff Gordon currently on the pole.
He still holds the record at 98.711, but for the moment, Jeff Gordon has put himself on the provisional pole at Sears Point. Live a Bud Pole qualifying for Sunday's SaveMart Kragen 350 NASCAR Winston Cup race here at Sears Point Raceway. Bit of a delay on the racetrack. Jeff Gordon has just put himself on the provisional pole with a lap of 98.519. And right now, the front row is exactly as it turned out to be last year, with Gordon on the pole and Jerry Nadeau alongside. They're getting the 14 car of Boris Said off the racetrack. That's the reason for the momentary delay. Next out is scheduled to be Rusty Wallace, and we'll be back for that in a moment. Onto the track. He hasn't taken the green flag yet, but he will attempt to become our 33rd qualifier of the day. Let's go down to Bill Weber, who's with Jeff Burton, currently 8th quick.
And you are currently 8th on the grid. Your thoughts on your lap?
That was a good lap. We didn't get a qualifying type lap today. When we put new tires on, I went out and I was in traffic. Had to go back out on 2-lap tires and make a run. And that was a half a second quicker than that lap. So we're happy with that lap. We're a little disappointed, too. We were 4th fastest today before everybody started putting on new tires. So from that, we're off a little bit. But like I say every week, if we're in the top 15, I'm going to be happy. And at a road course, if I'm in the field, I ought to be happy. So that'll give us a good starting spot for the X-Side Ford. And that'd be 2 weeks in a row. Golly, I don't know what to do with that myself on that. Good luck. Thank you.
Off the disappointment of Pocono last week. Jerry?
And speaking of coming on the past few weeks, how about Steve Park? The performance of this team has really come around in the past month and a half, Steve.
Yeah, it really has. I'll tell you what, these guys have been working real hard with this Pennzoil car. And with the addition of Paul Andrews, he's really given us all the confidence and the chemistry we need to really turn his team around. And that's what we've really been looking forward to.
Road course racing is what got you this job. Dale Earnhardt noticing your efforts on the pole in a truck at Watkins Glen, winning a Busch North race, leading in a modified till the engine blew. Are you a pretty good road racer?
Well, I'm not an accomplished road racer. It seems like here, in order to do this TV stuff and sit in the first couple of rows, your first name needs to start with a J. We got Jerry Punch doing the TV stuff. We got Jerry Nadeau, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Spencer, and Joe Nemechek. So mine starts with an S. So I don't know how good that's going to fare out, but I tell you what, these guys have been working real hard, and you know the driver's probably a little behind right now, not having the experience here at Sonoma, but we're just going to try to hope to get this Pennzoil car in the top 20 today.
Hey, good luck, Steve. Let's check in with Rusty Wallace this time. Pretty good lap for Rusty, huh, guys?
3rd quick, 71.492 and 98.142 mile-an-hour lap for Rusty Wallace, the 3rd quickest. And congratulations, Jerry, on being included in that elite group that Steve Park just named off, whose first names begin with J. We will be back to talk with the provisional pole sitter, Jeff Gordon, and have more Bud Pole qualifying from Sears Point. Darrell Waltrip has just completed his run, and it is the 8th fastest, 71.843, a 97.663 mile-an-hour lap for Darrell Waltrip. Tonight at 7:30 Eastern, flip over to ESPN for Sports Century. This week, number 30, Larry Bird. During Bird's tenure with Boston, the Celtics won 3 NBA titles and 10 Atlantic Division titles. And he also isn't bad as a coach of the Indiana Pacers, one, of course, of the many great, wonderful athletes to come from the state of Indiana. And Bill Weber is with another.
And that would be Jeff Gordon. You won from the pole here a year ago. Obviously, you're pleased with that lap.
Definitely pleased with that lap. We're not the fastest car in practice, and there were some guys run some incredible laps that I didn't know how they were running. And when we put stickers on, or new tires on to go out and qualify, I knew I'd need to pick it up under some braking areas and just get a little more aggressive with it, but try not to make mistakes. And it all came together. These guys, they did an excellent job. I asked them to tighten the car up for me. They tightened it up, and it drove off the corners great. So there's still a lot of cars left to go. A lot of things can happen, but we got everything we could possibly get out of the DuPont Chevrolet.
Now, somewhat similar to Mark's situation, you didn't know that Boris's car was still out there.
Yeah, you know, it was out of the way. It wasn't really in the way or anything like that, but it's just the fact that it's there and it's in the corner of your eye, and you're trying to focus so hard, especially going into those S's is where it was at for me. It caught me off guard, definitely. I was like, what in the world is that car doing there? And if it'll take your mind off of it, just even that split second, it can affect you a little bit. But you know, car was great, so I'm pretty happy with the lap.
How were the X Games yesterday?
Awesome. Awesome, man. I tell you, I have so much appreciation for those guys. I got to watch the guys, skateboarders on the half pipe. I got to meet Tony Hawk, and you know, if I could do something else, you know, everybody's always asking me if you could do anything else. I wish I could do that. I just don't have the talent to do that, and I'm getting over the hill for those guys.
Oh, yeah, over the hill. Good luck, son.
Thank you.
Jeff Gordon.
I would say he possesses a rather abundant amount of talent in another division, though, wouldn't you?
I would think so, yes.
Steve Park spun.
Up in turn 2, the right-hander. Turn 3, actually, the right-hander. Looked like he went uphill great. And here he makes that right-hander, and oh, nailed the gas. and he got on the throttle just a little too quick. The good news is he barely touched those tires. I would not think there's any damage. I would think that's strictly on acceleration. And he vanishes over the hill, never to be seen again.
Well, he is making his way around through the S's now. But Steve Park tomorrow. He and Elliott Sadler have had problems during their qualifying runs here at Sears Point today. So again, while we have a momentary break in the activity, we'll be right back to Sears Point. Cars to qualify. Jeff Gordon is on the provisional pole for Sunday's Winston Cup race here at Sears Point. Jerry Nadeau second. There you see the top 15 qualifiers. We will qualify, of course, only 25 here today. At the moment, Derek Cope is on the bubble. The State Fair Corn Dogs Pontiac qualified at 96.268, so he is on the bubble. Everybody else past 25 will have a decision to make regarding whether to stand on their time or requalify in second round tomorrow.
Also, Steve Park will be added to that list as another car who did not finish his qualifying run, as Ernie Irvin has completed his qualifying run.
Not a very good one, Benny. Ernie's going to be, of course, he's in a backup car. He lost it there this morning, 74.178 seconds, 94.589 miles an hour. So that puts Ernie in 34th of the cars that have qualified so far. Let's go to the pit for more and Jerry Punch.
Ned, I asked Ernie this morning, I said, what happened when you lost that race car? He said, Doc, the guy made the mistake of listening to me. They made the mistake of letting the driver be an engineer, and said something to do with the pedals. When you hit the brake pedal, he was also on the gas pedal simultaneously, and he said, that doesn't work on a road course. We found out the hard way by losing our best road course car.
Well, there's where he put himself into the tire barrier. That's up at the top of the hill, and he was out getting the car freed from those tires himself. Down to Bill Weber.
With Rusty Wallace, happy with that?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. That's third right now. We ran good right off the truck. We tested good out here. And I feel like we'll have a good car for the race. I was a little too loose in my right-handers, but other than that, the gear ratio was right, the motor ran good, and everything was good.
Okay, good luck Sunday.
Thanks a lot.
Rusty Wallace currently third quick. We'll be back with more as Rich Bickle awaits his opportunity to qualify for Sunday's SaveMart Kragen 350. Jared, Bill Weber, and Dr. Jerry Punch back with you at Sears Point Raceway. We're qualifying for Sunday's SaveMart Kragen 350 NASCAR Winston Cup race. Rich Bickle getting a little sideways coming off the corner. He's on his qualifying lap. We did have John Metcalf, who just qualified 36 fastest at 77.063 and 91.048. One of the Southwest Tour and NASCAR Winston West drivers who, of course, have an opportunity to qualify for the big show when we come to the western part of the country. Here's Bickle.
He was 26 fastest in practice this morning. How did he do in qualifying? The 10-10-3-4-5 Pontiac completes his run, and he's, guess where? 26.
Just off the chart.
73-050-96-049 miles per hour.
Bill Weber's with Boris Said, who had a problem on his qualifying run.
And a very disappointed Boris Said. What happened?
I mean, unfortunately, Federated Auto Parts car lost an engine. I mean, coming out of turn 7, it started to tighten up, and the oil pressure light went on, and I was kind of mad, so I just said I'm going to drive it until it blows to pieces, and it made it across the line anyway. I mean, disappointing for all the guys on the team, and disappointing for me especially. I was really looking forward to qualify good. I think we had the car to do it. The good news is we have Federated Auto Parts as a sponsor, so they got plenty of parts, so we'll get it glued back together for tomorrow, and hopefully we'll requalify and get it running good.
And it's tough to come into these, basically a one-off for you, but now you're in an even tougher situation.
Yeah, it's tough because, you wait all year for this race. It's like, I feel like a 12-year-old waiting for Christmas, wait and counting the days. You're making your little X's on the calendar, and then you get here and you run a few laps and you're really good, and then all of a sudden, you blow up. But, that's racing. It's a sport of ups and downs. You just got to get over it and go on.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
Santa didn't stop today, but Boris is hoping tomorrow might be Christmas Day for him and his team.
And that's 2 today, isn't it?
That's 2 today, yes. So Jerry Punch, he lost an engine earlier today, so.
Hey, Mike Skinner's got a good lap going.
course, he won on the road course in Japan. Not a points-paying race, but a victory nevertheless. He led 17 laps at the Glen last year, ended up in 3rd position. He finished 17th here at Sears Point last year. They're the top 25 with Derek Cope still on the bubble and Gordon at the other end on the provisional pole. And a lap for Mike Skinner ends up as the
14th fastest.
14th, okay.
There you go. I thought that thing would stop there. I had a feeling.
72.169 to 97.222 mile-an-hour lap. So Derek Cope is bumped, and on the bubble now is John Andretti.
John Andretti. So Richard Petty's feeling bad. He'll feel even worse now when we tell him that John Andretti is on the bubble.
Jeremy Mayfield will be the next car to qualify. Jeremy has climbed from 13th in the points to 9th in the last 3 races, putting together a couple of 9th place finishes and a 17th. He's also in a top 10 finish at Charlotte. Unfortunately, couldn't duplicate his victory at Pocono a year ago last Sunday. Ended up in 9th position, but still a good run for Jeremy.
Jeremy was 29th fastest in the practice session today. Improve on that.
Started all the way up in 5th spot.
Oh, you see the thing running the rev limiter, or either that or he blew up because smoke came out the exhaust. Oh, and he about spun. I guess he ran into the rev limiter. You can hear the thing misfire as it came off turn 7.
And he doesn't have a good lap going, Denny. He's about a second off as he went by our position here. And our position here is in the S's.
Sliding off the corner. Oh, almost. Yeah.
Almost got that wall, didn't he?
Sure did.
No, that'll be disappointing for Jeremy.
So Jeremy Mayfield will go down to, guess where? I said he was 29th fastest this morning. Well, right now he's 29th best at 73, 184, 95, 873 miles per hour.
So John Andretti remains on the bubble as Brett Bodine will be our next qualifier. But Jeremy, when he brought the car off of corner number 11, he was high getting off the corner, and then the back end slid around and, ooh,
just missed it.
That was close.
95.873 for Jeremy Mayfield, 29th fastest. Bill Weber always has entertainment for us. What is it this? Oh, I see. Okay. Nothing else need be said.
A man that needs no introduction, but will be happy to give himself one. Darrell Waltrip, and a fine lap for you.
It really was. The Kmart team, they did a great job for me. That car, the best lap it's runs, a 13.97. And they came in the trailer and said, you got to pick it up a second. Sat there and watched TV for a while. You guys come back in and said, you're going to have to pick it up 2 seconds. I said, now, wait a minute. But you know what you'll love is teamwork, right? I got my uniform off. And Spencer runs in the truck and grabs me and says, come on, come on. Bill's out there and he wants to talk to you on ESPN. Get that uniform back on. Get that uniform back on. I mean, have we got him fired up or what?
And I'm glad you got the uniform back on.
No, it's going great. You know, I had a 5th place finish here a couple of years ago. Ran well here last year in the 1 car, finished 10th. I like this joint. Philippe, Derek, everybody, Kmart. Just give us a little more time. We're coming. We'll get there.
We'll be watching you Sunday.
You can watch me Sunday right here on ESPN Live.
How about that? He can do that good.
He's pretty good, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
He, of course, helps us with our IROC races here on ESPN and the coming up IROC race on ABC at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Brett Bodine, 28th quickest, 73.074 and 96.018. Well, we talked earlier about Dave Marcus's hard crash at Pocono. The doctor has an update.
Well, why don't we ask Dave? Dave, as violent impacts we've seen in quite a while, you at Pocono, how are you feeling?
Well, really, you know, I'm a little sore, but really, all in all, I'm pretty good for what I went through. I know it was a really hard impact, but everything in the car did its job, and I think NASCAR's to be commended for the safety regulations that we have here. It's quite surprising the human body can take that type of a jolt, or basically a dead stop, I guess, at those speeds. Probably 180 miles an hour going in that tunnel turn, and really went head on into that wall.
Now, you're 58 years of age. The release said you had hired a young guy to get in and drive this weekend. And I looked at R.K. Smith. He's 61, Dave.
Well, you know, when one of the Ray Cooper from General Motors called and said, who are you putting in the car? I said, Ray, I'm putting a younger guy in. And he said, well, how old is he? I said, I think he's about 56 or 57. I gave him RK's phone number. He called him up. He called me back and said, I got news for you. I said, what is that? He said, he's 61. I said, well, then we got somebody with more maturity than me in there.
Hey, he's got a pretty good shot. This guy's got a lot of road racing experience.
He really does. He's run the Corvette Challenge Series. He's ran a couple of our Winston Cup races out here. He's been around this Sears Point course a lot. He's in the Southwest Tour race here this weekend. So, you know, if he can get the car qualified, I'm confident that he can do us a good job.
I know you're not driving, but good to see you here, Dave. Heal up quickly.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Dave Mark is one of the all-time veterans. And by the way, R.K. Smith, the guy driving his car, is a 4-time national champion, all 4 in road racing.
Kenny Schrader has 7 top 10 starts so far in 1999. Is he going to get another here this weekend? Ned indicates his lap is a good one. It is 7th best.
How about that? 71.667, 97.903. So the 43 car of John Andretti has been bumped. Now Johnny Benson is on the bubble.
Jeff Gordon continues to hang on to the provisional pole, and Jerry Nadeau alongside. More Bud Pole qualifying in a moment. And qualifying has been temporarily halted. They're out checking the track. A lot of activity here in the Bay Cities this weekend with the Winston Cup race here at Sears Point, and of course the X Games down in San Francisco, about 40 miles down the road. All of the city and surrounding area is talking about these great games. Look forward to the coverage that starts on Sunday. Of course, we'll have the skateboard. You know, if the winds kick up, as they do sometimes in the Bay Area, that could make for some very interesting activity. And of course, I can't wait for the street luge, which always is one of the more exciting events of the X Games. Here is what we have accomplished so far with Jeff Gordon, the fastest at 98.519. Not quite a track record. There's Darrell Waltrip down in the 9th position. Bobby Labonte is 13th. The top 25 include Johnny Benson, who's currently on the bubble. John Andretti just got bumped off. And now the rest of those who have qualified so far here in first round activity at Sears Point Raceway. There's Jeremy Mayfield. The guy that we saw currently in 12th position is Kyle Petty, who qualified at 97.435. Let's talk to him.
Kyle, let's first ask you about your run here on the racetrack. You're currently 12th.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what we run in practice. I missed 2 corners. I missed one at the top of the hill and one at the far end of the racetrack. Don't ask me what the numbers on them are, because I don't have a clue. I just know it's the furthest corner. I hit the curb in both places, and it upset us as far as where I needed to be on the racetrack. So kind of messed me up. It's the driver's fault. The crew did a good job. We unloaded pretty fast, and we're like 6th or 7th fastest in practice. So we'll end up in the top 15 somewhere. That's pretty good for us.
A very difficult week for your father and your family. Can you update us on Richard's situation, or just explain basically what has happened?
Yeah, it's kind of complicated. My mother and my 2 sisters, Sharon and Rebecca, they had gone to the beach, and my father was at home, I guess Wednesday night, and we were all at the beach. Everybody was gone, and Chris Garner, a guy that works with us and stuff, he was over cooking him some supper. He went in the restroom, came out. When he came out of the bathroom, he passed out. They took him to the hospital, and he's always had stomach trouble off and on. And I guess now that I'm back home, he's worried a little bit, so I'm worrying him a little bit more. So he had some bleeding ulcers, and he had lost about 40% of his blood. They had to go in and stabilize him, get his blood pressure level. They had to go in and drain his stomach, and then they went in and did, I don't know what the procedure's called, Jerry will know, where they stop the bleeding, they seal off the ulcers or whatever, and he's doing really, really well. It never got to a point where it was really that life-threatening, I guess, but he was in intensive care for a day and a half. He's recovering there now. He fell and cut his lip, I guess, and cut his nose a little bit, so I think he's a little bit concerned about that, but I think my mother's there with him and my sisters, and they're going to bring him home Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning, or whenever the nurses get tired of messing with him, because he's not a good patient. He's like all race car drivers. He's a terrible patient. But, you know, we were all saying a lot of prayers on Wednesday night, and thank goodness he's doing good, because right after Father's Day, you get a little bit closer there. You love him a lot, and you don't want to see anything happen to him.
Well, we appreciate you sharing that story with us, and we add our prayers to yours, and be sure and pass along the best from all of us at ESPN and, of course, race fans all around the world.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Wow, that's quite a scary story that Kyle just related to us, but hopefully everything's going to be okay. We certainly hope so. Well, let's go down to the doctor.
All right, one of the most impressive performances thus far in 1999 has been rookie Tony Stewart. 6th in the point standings, 1st in the rookie series points. And Tony, I have been told the last time you competed on a road course in active competition was back 12 years ago when you were 16 years old and you won the World Karting Championship a long time ago.
Yeah, it really was, and you know, it's been a culture shock for me almost after 12 years to come back to a road course and you know, not only run on a road course but learn how to shift gears doing it. So this has been a whole different challenge for us, but I like challenges, so hopefully we can conquer this one too.
Heard you came here for one day prior to California in Fontana in the Russell School and had to use a Joe Gibbs credit card. What happened?
Yeah, there were 5 of us Cup drivers that came out for a day before we went to Fontana to just basically come out and do some road racing out here and try to get familiar with the racetrack before we came and tested after Fontana. And about 5 minutes before the end of the day, I was trying something to see if it would work and made a mistake and spun the car and ended up with it on top of one of the tire walls here and tore it up a little bit. So before I left here, they said, well, you got a little bit of a bill here. Do we send this back to you? I said, well, you might as well just put it on the credit card and get it over with now. And about 2 weeks ago, Joe comes in my office at the shop and says, what's this bill for $800? I said, oh, by the way, that's the bill for where I tore up the school car here. So he wasn't really upset. He just asked if I learned anything from it. And, you know, the nice thing is I learned it in their car and tore up their car instead of tearing up this car. So hopefully we can get this Home Depot Pontiac in the show now and not tear his car up now.
Hey, good luck in qualifying today, Tony.
Thank you.
All right, Loy Allen heads out on the racetrack, guys, trying to qualify for his first Winston Cup road race.
And his second race of 1999, he did start the race at Michigan. We'll see how Loy Allen can do. Bill Weber, meanwhile, is with the 7th place driver at the moment, Kenny Schrader.
Yes, that would be road course Ken Schrader. Good lap for you.
Some old Chevrolet was first off a new car. We got to go play with it a little bit a couple weeks ago down Kershaw, South Carolina. And
now what that's called, playing with it?
Yeah, well, the guys were working hard. I was playing. I was playing, especially when I went off course. But we struggled a little bit today. I gave Stanley some bad information, and we kind of chased it the wrong way, and then we went back the other way. Usually he knows which way to go by whatever I tell him. He goes the other way, and it seems to work good. And that's what we did towards the end of practice and got a lot better.
You like road course racing?
You have to have a mindset that you do. Otherwise, you're in trouble twice a year. I mean, I don't prefer it, but I look forward to coming out here in Watkins Glen.
Well, you got a good starting spot. Good luck.
Thank you.
Loy Allen is about to take the checkered flag to complete his qualifying effort here at Sears Point Raceway near Sonoma, California, as we have Bud Pole qualifying for Sunday's SaveMart Kragen 350 NASCAR Winston Cup race. They're the top 25. Only the top 25 are locked into their starting position for Sunday's race. And Loy Allen ends up as the 41st fastest at 76.619 and 91.575 mile-an-hour lap.
The next qualifier is R.K. Smith that Dave Marks was talking about just a moment ago.
There's 6 drivers yet to qualify. Dale Jarrett was scheduled to be the last of those. At a lot of racetracks, you like to draw the last position. Usually the sun goes down and gets cooler. I'm not sure that's the case here.
We do have just a few more qualifiers to go, and of course we will stay here and complete them, and then right after that you can see in its entirety the RPM Tonight report with John Kernan, who will preview Cleveland, Watkins Glen, and Pikes Peak. That's RPM Tonight coming up next after our coverage of qualifying. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Part of the Go Network, go.com. Let's talk to the current points leader, Doctor.
You know, people talk about Dale Jarrett maybe not being that good a road racer, but actually, Dale, you've qualified well, started in the top 10 in both road course events a year ago, but have had miserable luck in finishing.
Yeah, maybe I make some of that luck, too, so maybe I am part of the problem there. But I enjoy doing it. We haven't, you know, we've had some flat tires and things like that. We've been able to finish in the top 5 at each of the road courses, just not in the same year. And that's something we really need to do this year.
This car qualified 3rd here a year ago, and you mentioned you had a cut tire 15 laps ago. Not of your own doing. There was some debris on the racetrack. What about your shot today?
Well, we're pretty good. I don't think I can get anywhere close to what Gordon did, but I think we've got a pretty good car. A top 10 start would be good for us, and then get into the race on Sunday, and I think we'd have a good shot at it. But I'm looking forward to it. This is a lot of fun, and just enjoy doing it. And you know, I think what is better than this is seeing guys like Rusty Wallace and Dave Marcus here today after the wrecks they had last week. I mean, when I got home, I didn't, you know, I realized when we were there that they'd hit hard, but just glad to see that those guys are okay. And I want to say hello to my father-in-law, Jack Spears, who retired today from Quaker Fabrics, that he's been selling fabrics for them for over 30 years, and he's retiring today. So congratulations, Jack, on that. Wonderful father-in-law and great-grandfather to our kids.
He's probably on the golf course right now. He'll watch this later on. But, yeah, congratulations, Jack. Can I ask you, we saw R.K. Smith's car slow down a moment ago and had a problem approaching the halfway point as the points leader. The pressure building at all?
No. Right now we're having a lot of fun with it. You know, I think that what keeps us going is, you know, we've been on a roll here of good finishes, top 10 finishes and top 5s, and I think that we want to see if we can continue that pace and better it each time. We're going to start going back to these tracks a second time. Let's see if we can be better than what we were the first time. So, you know, there's an extra challenge there for us, and hopefully by that challenge and our guys stepping up to it, what it does is create kind of a race within a race for us, and something that'll hopefully keep us on top.
Hey, good luck in qualifying. Good luck in the second half.
Okay, thanks a lot.
DJ?
DJ will be up in just a few moments to qualify. There you see R.K. Smith's car that broke on his qualifying run just as he came into corner number 11.
He goes down the corner, car number 12. But they see the right front. He stops the right front tire, then he gets back on the throttle, and we see the smoke coming out from the back of the car. And he just makes a right-hand turn, and around he goes. He doesn't go around, I'm sorry. He parks the car behind the pit wall.
So, again, we will have an interruption in the qualifying to get his car off the racetrack. We'll be right back.
Look at the guys coming down to talk to Tony Stewart. Incredible run here, Tony. Out for someone who had never competed on a road course in anything larger than a go-kart. Outstanding effort.
These guys told me on the radio what I ran, and I thought they were really picking at me. I thought I must have ran a real miserable lap, but you know, it's this guy right behind me. It's not myself. It's Greg Zippadelli and all these guys in this Home Depot car. They did a great job. I mean, we've been loose all day long getting up off the corner, and you know, I told him, I made 2 mistakes. I didn't get up the hill hard enough, and I got into 11 too deep, and you probably could have fit a semi between me and the tires down here. So I know I gave up some time, but the guys really made improvements on the car, and the car was faster than what I drove it. So we got something we can race with, I think.
Now, Ned Jarrett had you on the clock, and before you got to turn 11, Ned said, this will be the pole. If it gets through turn 11, and you had everybody beaten, as you said, you got in there a little bit deep.
Well, Ned should have drove it through 11. I got it through 10. He should have drove it through 11. He's the master. I mean, nobody could have done it better than he could anyway. So, you know, for a rookie, I guess I wouldn't be too disappointed for coming to a road course after 12 years of retirement, I guess, in a way, and sitting on the front row. I'm pretty happy with that.
And for Joe Gibbs, $800 well spent.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we had a discussion about crashed race cars in the shop the other day and how many Jeff Gordon crashed his rookie year and how many I've crashed so far. And I told him, we could split the difference, and I'll just take some credit right now. But I don't think he's minding at $800 right now.
Hey, congratulations. Go celebrate that great qualifying lap.
I'm just glad I get to work on race setups tomorrow. I'm just glad to get through first round. That's the biggest thing for us right now.
Tony Stewart, sensational rookie, second right now in qualifying after what has already been an impressive performance during the first half of 1999. Guys?
Hey, Jerry, run him down now. Tell him to be patient now, because we remember what happens when you're a rookie and qualify on the outside pole here at Sears Point.
Needs to go back and look at that film from last year.
We're, of course, referencing Jerry Nadeau, who started on the front row and crashed in the first lap. Well, the weekend coverage begins again at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon Eastern Time with the Snap-on Tools 200 for the NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Series. Our happy hour coverage on the Deuce at 9:30 Eastern Time tomorrow night. On Sunday, RPM Today is at 11:30. NASCAR Today with Bill Weber at 3:30. And then at 4:30, it's our live coverage of the SaveMart Kragen 350 NASCAR Winston Cup race. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. Well, it's time to see if anyone can knock Jeff Gordon off the pole. Dale Jarrett is the man on the racetrack and about to begin his effort to do so, the current points leader in Winston Cup competition.
We saw Steve Portingate's car sitting beside on the drag strip. They just pushed the car there for the essence of time, they told him to stop and let Dale Jarrett continue his qualifying run, and then they'll push Sporting Gage's car back to the garage area. Spot, the car on the bubble, 96.538 miles per hour, and Jeff Gordon, the pole sitter, 98.519 miles per hour.
All right, Jarrett begins the run. He started third here at Sears Point last year. Remember, he and Jeff Burton had a coming together during the race that resulted in Dale's finishing in 15th position. Watkins Glen last year was a good run for Dale. He started 10th and finished 5th. The last 14 races, he has 2 wins and a finish of 11th or better. Well, you take away Daytona, and this guy has just been incredibly consistent and consistently good. He led by...
And it doesn't look like he lost too much time.
No, he lost a good bit of time being here, according to the watch. Now, I don't know what he would have done if he had not done that, but he's almost 0.8 of a second off the pace as he came through here, so didn't hurt him.
You see some smoke out of the back of the car as he goes through turn 11. Makes that left-hander in turn 12 and crosses the start-finish line. The final qualifier.
Qualifying is over. First round qualifying completed as Dale Jarrett takes the checkered flag, and he is all the way down in 30th position. So indeed a disappointment for Dale. 72.954 seconds and 96.176 mile-an-hour lap. So certainly a disappointment for DJ. Let's take a look at the results from today. Jeff Gordon will be starting from the pole tomorrow. On Sunday, Tony Stewart starts alongside Jerry Nadeau and Rusty Wallace in row number 2. Ricky Rudd ended up being the 15th fastest qualifier. 16 through 25 now, those locked into a starting position. Terry Labonte into the session on the bubble. Jeff Bodine in the 26th spot. As far as poles are concerned, that's the 28th career pole for Jeff Gordon here this afternoon. All of these guys, of course, will have the decision to make. Park, Smith, Sadler, and Portengay did not complete their qualifying laps, so they will have to participate in second-round qualifying tomorrow afternoon. Well, that's it from Sears Point for the moment. However, on RPM Tonight, which is coming up next, we will be right back here with a live interview with the pole sitter, Jeff Gordon. But stay tuned right now for John Kernan, RPM Tonight. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.